Hello, I'm Eloise and this is my channel, and for today's video I am bringing you this fierce deceased ice queen look for Halloween, and I am literally obsessed with it. I have a feeling I'm probably going to bleach my brows after this because I'm feeling this white out brow with a really intense dark smoky eye. I feel very mean, I feel very Halloweeny. Yeah, I'm actually really impressed with what I've created today. I by no means whatsoever am good at Halloween makeup. I'm good at makeup that looks Halloweeny. I am not the best person to come to if you want a skull. So from what I have produced today, I'm pretty proud of it. In no way do I think this is incredible, but for me it's not half bad. And I just want to say one last thing before we get into this. Shout out to Tiffany, you're absolutely gorgeous and I love you very much. So if you would like to see how to create this deceased ice queen moment, then make sure you keep on watching. So this is definitely the easy part, doing the brow and the big smoky eye. I've already made up the lash. So all I've used for my eyelash is obviously a pair of lashes, and I've done little strokes through the lash with white liquid liner, and then I've just popped some eyelash glue on some of the strands of the lashes. And I found this in my drawer from last year and it's iridescent snowflakes, and I think I just got it from Amazon. It was probably about £2, but they're brilliant. You can use them for Christmas time or Halloween if you're doing something a little bit icy like me today. And I've just put a few flecks on the end of the lashes, just like this one, so it looks like I've got icicles on my eyelashes. Now I had a little bit of trouble doing this eyebrow. What I first did is take my Life Proof concealer by Sleek. I took a tiny bit on the back of my hand, and then I found a spoolie brush, and I'm taking that concealer on one side of the spoolie, and all I'm doing is brushing that through my hairs to sort of blank out the colour of them. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Subversion Lash Primer by Urban Decay, because you all know it's the best brow gel, and I'm just really being heavy-handed with it and whacking that through the brow, making them really super fluffy. And then I'm going to press, and that makes your eyebrows stay really nice and flat, and they basically stay there for as long as you want them to. Then all I did was take my Urban Decay Razor Sharp Liner in the shade Bump, and I took off quite a lot of the excess of that, and I just flick it through the brow in the same direction that the hairs are going. And it's even better when the product slightly runs out on the brush, because then it looks really messy and not too neat. And now I've got some really bleached out brows. Obviously this is very extreme and obviously does not look like bleached out brows, but I think it looks wicked. So that was much quicker than when I first attempted it. This side I feel looks a little bit better than this side. It's okay, we'll roll with it. It's Halloween, you're meant to look scary. So then I took my Urban Decay eyeshadow primer in the shade Freebase, and I'm taking a little bit on the back of my hand. This formula is slightly watery, so what I like to do is take a little bit of my concealer, just the smallest amount, and mix it in there with the eyeshadow primer. So I'm just going to use my finger. I'm literally just going to whack this on my eye, so I've got a really nice bright base. It's nice and tacky. And now I'm going to use my Maybelline gel liner. This is the brown one, it's in the shade brown. So I'm again going to use my finger, and I'm just going to whack that product all over the lid, really getting close to the lash line. And then we're going to take a stubby dense brush, a little bit of that product, and just take that slightly higher. If I use my finger at this point, I'd probably take it way too high, and that's not what we want. I'm just pressing that in there and sort of starting to drag it towards the lash line rather than dragging it outwards, because that's when you would go way too high. You can sort of start to buff the product. Now I'm taking my Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, and I'm going to take this shade right here, which is called Chip. Really beautiful chocolatey brown, but it's more of like a cool tone brown, which is why it's perfect for this look, because we want to look dead obviously. And I'm just patting that all over that gel liner. You can start to soften those edges at this point, but we are going to be going in with a blending brush, so it doesn't matter too much. I feel like my voice is really weird today. I'm going to take my Morphe R39, same colour. I'm just going to start to blend out the edges. And then I'm going to take this shade here, which is called Butter, same brush, and really lightly go over those edges. And it doesn't have to be too neat. This is a pretty messy smoky eye, but that's cool because it is Halloween after all. So now I'm going to take my lash that I made, pop some glue on it and stick it on. So these are definitely better than these ones. Never mind. Right, so we're going to do the lower lash line now. So I'm going to take the same gel liner and that stubby brush, and I'm just going to pack that on underneath really scruffily. I'm taking that R39, that dark brown and that transition colour, just to really blend that down. And I'm just blending those two colours to really make that outer corner, makes you look really mean. Okay, so all I've done is stick my lash on, the Razor Sharp by Urban Decay in the shade Bump on my lower lashes, and I've highlighted my inner corner with the Ofra Glazed Donut highlighter. And that is what we're looking at so far. I'm really excited now. So I definitely need to get some inspiration for this skull business because, like I said, I'm not an expert. I find it really difficult to think of ideas like that in my head. With eye looks, no problem. But with stuff like that, I find it so difficult. Okay, so I did some makeup on my friend yesterday. I actually really enjoyed how that turned out, so I might do something very similar. So, what am I going to do? I am going to, first of all, cover my lips in concealer. This literally takes me back to when I was in year 9 and foundation lips were a thing. You would top up every single break time, make sure that you couldn't see the natural colour of your actual lip, and then it would crust off by the end of the day, and you were looking absolutely gorgeous. But it would always be Dream Matte Mousse, wouldn't it? So it would be extra crusty. Okay, now I have no lips. Let's do some fun stuff. So I think I'm going to take this Maybelline gel liner again, that same brush, and I'm just going to pat that in the centre of my lips. I did a really beautiful cherry inspired skull yesterday using the pink and the purple sort of tones for the contouring and around the lip, but because we're more of like an Ice Queen skull today, I'm going to use more of the cool tones. It's going to be like the classic skull look. That's what I'm going for anyway. If it turns out like that, hooray. But this is why I'm doing these tutorials, because there's probably people out there like me who have absolutely no idea how to do Halloween makeup, literally just about have a kit of makeup that could maybe look like some Halloween makeup. So if you're in the same boat as me, do not fear, because it's only one day a year. I think that's why I get so scared, because I don't do this type of makeup all the time, so I'm out of practice most of the time, if you know what I mean. So I'm just going to smudge this around my whole lip. Okay, so you want that to look really smudgy and rubbish, but then I'm going to take my finger again and really intensify that inner lip bit. Get it on your teeth while you're at it. Now, to intensify even more, I'm going to take my Urban Decay version pencil, put that right in there, and I've just used my finger to buff that out. We just get a little bit comfortable because we might be here for a while. Okay, so I'm going to take a little detail brush and I'm going to take that pot of brown gel liner. I want to elongate my lips ever so slightly, and then I want to slightly buff that out. So when we put the white teeth on, it really stands out because you've got that darker background. Now I'm going to create my contouring shape. So just want to follow my natural sort of cheekbone but slightly higher, and I want to start to buff that out using my R39. We'll do some more blending in a second, but I want to get the other side the same as well. Similar. Whose face shape is the same each side? Mine's definitely not. I've got a different, better side each day, because sometimes I like this side of my face, sometimes I like this side of my face, because my face looks completely different on both sides. So now I'm going to take an actual contour brush, and I'm going to take the Urban Decay Naked 2 Basics palette, because it's got some lovely cool tones in there. So I'm going to take the shade Frisk, which is this nice light greyish colour. I'm going to start to help blend this out. But of course this is just the transition colour, so you're not going to see it too much. And then I'm going to take the shade Undone. For now, I want to focus on the teeth, because this is probably going to take me a long time. What I used yesterday was the free base, and I also mixed in a bit of concealer to again give it that opacity. So I'm going to take a fair bit, in fact I'm just going to grab it straight from the tube, pop it on the back of my hand, take my Life Proof concealer, and I'm going to take 2 different sized brushes. So I'm going to take my naked brush and of course the flat side, and I'm also going to take the Urban Decay detailed smudger brush because it's slightly smaller, because obviously all the teeth are going to be different size. So I'm just mixing together that primer and the concealer, and I might zoom in for this bit. I'm just going to stamp on that shape at first and then we can sort it out afterwards. So I'm just using the 2 different size brushes to stamp on that Freebase eyeshadow primer, and it's going to create the perfect shape, and then what we're going to do is elongate the teeth afterwards. And now I'm just going to make some molars, so I'm going to stamp on a sort of jagged edge so it looks like little molars. Oh, this white is getting stuck in my moustache, it's so funny. But you can see where the white is mixed in with that black and made it slightly grey. I really like that sort of texture to the teeth. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that Maybelline gel liner again and a really small brush, and I'm just going to start to intensify in between the teeth, keeping the dark bit to the centre of the lip more. So I'm laying down most of the colour and then we're going to feather it upwards so it's light to dark. And then I'm going to take my razor sharp liner in Bump just to add a little bit more highlighting. I'm just going to feather that through each tooth. And then just to match the iridescence that's in my lashes, I'm going to take the Urban Decay Heavy Metal liner in Distortion, just to add a little bit of green fleck. Like I said, if I've got an opportunity to put distortion in my looks, I will. Now all we need to do is the nose. I'm going to take that stubby brush again, and just as an outline I'm going to take the brown because it's much easier to get rid of brown than it is black. I'm just going to stamp on the shape of the brush. I'm going to use a slightly smaller brush, I think, a bit more structure to the tip of the brush, so it's going to actually make an imprint. And I'm just going to set that with a black shadow, and then all I'm going to do is take any old blue shade and use that as the highlight of my little nose. So we've got the distortion in the lip and we've got that iridescence in the lashes, so it would be rude not to have a blue highlight. So I'm going to zoom out quickly, and of course I've got to highlight my face very icy and white, so what better highlight than Glazed Donut by Ofra. And now I think I want to add some finishing touches, so I'm just going to do some like bones down my neck just with this large contour brush. So I'm going to take the shade Undone from the Naked Basics 2 palette. Okay, so I've just finished off my chest. It looks pretty naff, but it's the best I can do. Like I said in my previous videos, I'm not the best person to come to for Halloween makeup, but if you want to join me with not knowing how to do Halloween makeup, then this is a tutorial for you. This is my Deceased Ice Queen look, and I am living for it. I'm really impressed with myself. As much as I don't think I'm great at Halloween makeup by any means, I definitely can get a blending brush. Excuse me. Oh no. No, why is the postman here? The postman is always here at the worst times. I definitely cannot answer the door looking like this. I'm just going to wait until my dog stops barking. They're really knocking. So turns out my dog is not going to stop barking, so I'm just going to carry on. My hair is greasy today, so this was the perfect hairstyle for it. So we've gone for a wet look, slick back, sort of Ice Queen vibes. I am loving this look. I am so in love with these lashes and this whited out brow. I am really contemplating bleaching my brows now because I feel like it's a look. If you recreate this Deceased Ice Queen look, then please do tag me on my Instagram. This is my handle here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a huge thumbs up, comment down below and tell me what you're going as for Halloween, and if this helped inspire you in any way, subscribe and all that jazz. I'm Eloise, aka the Deceased Ice Queen. This is my channel and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.